Why are people being abducted by aliens?
Oh boy, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
well, I think first of all they were using us for breeding, because that happened to me. And a lot of the women, the majority of the women were also affected as far as their internal organs. There were difficulties, had to see their doctors and so forth. But I think they were breeding us in an attempt to breed some of the emotional factors back into their type, or if you want to call them people.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things. I think they're also trying to teach us and warn us that things have happened to their planets, and they don't want it to happen to us because I think they need us. And for perhaps the Earth is an oasis. They need some of our minerals, and I don't know if they might need our water or whatever. I haven't been told this. I have a feeling, that's all.
What have you been told by these people who take you against your will? Or these entities that take you against your will?
I've been shown things, and I can't get that out yet. I remember big screens.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing what looked like universes. I remember someone pointing out the fact that we could destroy not just ourselves, but affect other galaxies if we don't stop doing what we're doing as far as being a warlike people.
Does anybody ever come back from one of these abductions with physical evidence? A paperclip from a craft, an instrument, a piece of their clothing, anything?
That's the question, and we have not been able. Well, there are some things, but we can't get a hold of it enough to make a difference, because for some reason some of these individuals that have brought pieces of things back, little tiny pieces of metal, a little item with perhaps some code on it, somehow the first thing they do is send it off to a lab to have it analyzed,
right.
And they never get it back.
Do you believe that the governments of the world are aware of this abduction scenario that's going on, and is it possible that they have given it global blessing?
You know, I in my belief and my opinion, that is quite possible. That somewhere, maybe not even the president, but somewhere globally, our governments are aware of something that's going on, yes. And they may have agreed to something.
Do you have any recall of what your abductors look like? How are you treated during an abduction?
Well, I have what I would call the escort, that is one that I've seen since I was 2.5. So I feel that they live longer than we do. And he just comes and takes me, and I've not been treated mean. As far as we're on a craft, he's been able to calm me immediately, take away any pain that is caused by any medical procedures. There's an insect-like individual, or a reptilian, I would say, that does any procedures that are necessary. And the escort would immediately put a hand on my forehead to stop some of the memories and the pain. But there's no emotion shown.
No way.
I would say in all the years, the only emotion I have ever seen, I would have to guess, would be a questioning look. And I don't know what their question, what they're asking, or what they're trying to figure out. But it's a tip of the head and maybe a certain look saying, well, what's going on here? But that's it.
When you're on the craft, do you have access to walk around to see other occupants of this craft? And I was wondering if you could give us your impression of the size of this craft that they take you to. Or is it another place on this planet where you're taken to?
It's been, I guess, all sorts, all kinds of crafts for different reasons. I was on one that was so huge, it actually had some sort of slide-out balcony or area And I saw some people that I recognized, and they don't know they were there, because in a very sly way I questioned the fact that they had on a certain style of clothing and the color I described it, asked them if they owned a garment like that. They said they did, and I couldn't go any further because they didn't believe there was such a thing as UFOs. We were put on a balcony and asked to drop some items over a forest that I feel was in the West. And the aliens or entities on that craft were conducting some sort of project, and they were very upset at the situation and as far as the project went, and I don't know why. So that was something that I was doing in a very large craft. I've been in very, very small ones and escorted to what would be the room, if you want to call it the engine room, and as you could tell, I'm not scientific that way, and it affected me physically. Kathleen had me under hypnosis. We eventually went back to that and did it over again, the hypnosis, and she videotaped it because you could see the physical reaction. I think it affected me so that when I went to the doctor to find out what was wrong, they can't tell me.
When you're in this craft or any other crafts, what does it feel like? Is the temperature the same as it would be in let's say 72 degrees? Are there any smells or fragrances that you've been able to pick up, or are you in such a state where there's a number of numbing effects that you feel on your body as well as your senses?
Well, in the room, the center, the core of the craft, again, affected me physically. And as far as my muscles, nerves, caused kind of a jerking motion. And I didn't realize it. Kathleen saw it until I came back and had some of that same effect in my own home and couldn't stop it. And they tried to diagnose it first as Tourette's, which you don't get as an older person, then as Parkinson's disease, and they came up with all kinds of things, and I had none of those.
You and I have to take a news break here. This is a fascinating hour, and I thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight, Denise. And you and I will be back in... let's see, about 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes. Exonation, our special guest this hour is Denise M Stoner. She's the co-author of a fascinating book. Well, that's putting it mildly. It's entitled The Alien Abduction Files, the most startling cases of human alien contact ever reported. And we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break, continuing our conversation with Denise M Stoner. Her website is www.denisemstoner.com. And once again, the name of her book is The Alien Abduction Files, the most startling cases of human alien contact ever reported. My name is Rob McConnell. This is The X Zone. We'll be back after the news. Just a glimpse of your... Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X Zone radio show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365. You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com.
Down inside, you know we never know why.
I made love to an alien near Roswell last night. We strolled along together in the pale moonlight. I had a funny feeling that something wasn't right. I made love to an alien last night. When she gripped my hand, I was feeling mighty fine.
Exonation,
But her fingers with mine would not.
my guest this hour is Denise Stoner. She, along with Kathleen Martin, have written a fascinating book about alien abductions. The book is entitled The Alien Abduction Files, the Most Startling Cases of Human-Alien Contact Ever Reported. And Denise's website is www.denisemstoner.com. Again, Denise, great having you with us. Thanks very much for joining us and for sharing your experiences and the experience of others who have been taken against their will by these creatures, these visitors, and if they're visitors, they're very unfriendly visitors, to who knows where for who knows what. Do you think that the time will ever come, Denise, when it will be a point in time where undeniability of the existence of UFOs and ETs will come?
I think we're awfully close. I really feel that we're terribly, terribly close because I just spoke at a symposium with Kathleen, and we had actually, what was his name? Paul Hellyer, who was the former defense minister of Canada.
Yeah.
And what a fascinating individual who feels the same way. He had indicated that he had had a sighting and started to receive all kinds of information from the military, and that information told him that we are definitely so close, and what's being hidden now should just be told. It should just come out. And I think that that's what we're supposed to do. I think all of us who are abductees, those of us that are writing books, those of us that are speaking to the public in larger and larger forums, that's what we're meant to do. I don't think the government's going to do it. I think it's up to us.
You know, I've been doing this show now for 21 years, and over the 21 years, I have spoken to many people around the world about UFOs, ghosts, things that go bump in the night, all aspects of the paranormal, parapsychology, New Age, religious philosophies, and so on. And over those years, nothing seems to have changed within the UFO community, except there's a lot of bitter fighting between the UFO groups. Why is this?
Well, you know, we seem to have some individuals here and there, and I think it doesn't matter whether you're a celebrity in Hollywood, whether you're a police officer, a fireman, and they're all vying for higher and higher positions. You want to be chief, you want to be captain, you want to have the top secret, you want to be the grand poobah of all.
Yeah, well, let me just interject something here. I've been a police officer. I've worked criminal investigations. I've worked patrol. I've worked narcotics. I've worked warrants. One thing the police force does that ufology doesn't is share information.
You're exactly right. What is so difficult there is a police officer. Well, I worked for the federal government.
Right.
They did not want me working on the side in UFO investigations.
Why not?
I don't know why the police officers. Well, here, if I call a police department or I call a fire department and say I'd like to leave my name and or a card or my website, so that if you get a call from someone saying they've